Great Chinese Wall of Trees, village where only millionaires live, highway above the clouds. These are top technological miracles of China. Even though China has the square compared to the United States, only 12% of it is arable land. Yet China has the largest agricultural production in the world. All suitable land is used intensively, and the government has invested a lot of money both in increasing productivity and in preserving the territory. It is incredible that such a populous country could become self-sufficient in terms of food supply. A prime example of self-sufficiency is the Saint-Denis area in the northwest. It is almost a desert region, but thanks to the saw irrigation and technological systems that reduce evaporation, people grow vegetables without precipitation. The result, tomatoes, garlic, onions, watermelons and melons, and much more have received international recognition and taste.
So they can compete with fruits grown in southern Italy. Do you think they only grow vegetables? What about the battle with the desert area with the Great Green Wall? There was a need to build a new Great Wall of China, but this time not for the benefit of protection. China's Great Green Wall is the world's largest afforestation project. The goal is to create a 4,500 kilometers long green forest to stop the expansion of the Gobi Desert and at the same time to reduce carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere. If all goes according to plan, by 2050, China's forest area will increase from 5% to 15% of the country's total area. But do you think that technical progress did not reach this project? To grow trees online is a new opportunity to take part in the Great Green Wall. The Chinese residents have the opportunity to plant trees not personally, but with the help of online platforms. Donations are collected on authorized websites, which are then used for planting trees. Over the past 50 years of the beginning of the reforestation, the desert finally stopped dominating the area. Although the plan is not yet completed, the area of forests in the north has increased from 5% to 13.5%. This is an area the size of Western Europe. Over the past 10 years, 13 million hectares of trees have been planted with wind sheltering purposes, covering an area the size of Greece. Thus, the Chinese were able to save a land that extends over as many square kilometers as Italy from the desert. Can you imagine that the communist government uses capitalism to grow trees? Residents of villages are paid for planting seedlings. In some areas, the government leases private land for planting forests. Entrepreneurs grow and sell seedlings and harvest grown trees for lumber. It has reduced poverty in many regions and has definitely made some people very rich. But how did China win the fight for world production? Everything comes with a price. One of the main reasons for such a concentration of world production in China is considered to be the cheapness of labor. While in a factory in the United States, the average salary of a worker is around $15 per hour. Chinese people happily agreed to work for 3 or 4. Quite a deal, huh? Not only the price of the labor is important, but the speed as well. Chinese people learned how to build skyscrapers for 19 hospitals and 10 residential buildings in a day from scratch, to lay more high-speed railways than the whole world, and to put together and to build tunnels under the sea and 100 kilometers of bridges is not impossible for China. But what about high-speed stairs to the sky or freeway above the clouds? That's how the Yasi Express Highway in China is called by commoners. The line of the road meanders between high mountains and powerful ridges. For every 1 kilometer, its average height above sea level increases by 7.5 meters. The 240-kilometer road, officially named Yashi, cost over $4 billion and took 5 years to build. It has become a tourist attraction because it runs through the picturesque scenery of Sichuan province.
And what about the rest of the world? Let's look at the map of Africa. In which countries of the continent is Chinese construction building continuing? In all of them, except for Swaziland. But Nigeria was given $5 billion to build a huge hydroelectric power plant. The largest bridge in Africa, Mozambique, is being constructed using Chinese money. In 2017, a railway with a length of more than 500 kilometers was constructed at a speed of 700 meters a day in Kenya. But is this business profitable for the Chinese economy? In 2003, it was about $2.5 billion. Not bad. But now it's 25 times more every year. It's almost $50 billion. Being known for cheap labor and poverty in the factories is another controversy. As you see, China is a country of contrasts. It's hard to find people as rich as the villagers of Huasi elsewhere in the world because it's also known as the village of millionaires. Those whose wealth is estimated at less than $400,000 are considered poor in Huaxi.
Today, there are 60,000 people living in the village. They all have luxurious houses, drive luxury cars, and keep decent amounts of money in their bank accounts. If someone decides to move out of the village, this person loses all their property. But no one really wants to escape from Huaxi, because every resident has the right to free medicine, education, and housing there. Residents are given old age insurance and even food subsidies. At the end of the year, the administration divides 20% of all income equally between absolutely all residents and even minor children. How does this utopian village succeed in rising from dirt and poverty? Wu Renbao, the former secretary of the Huaxi Village Communist Party Committee, developed a plan to turn what used to be a poor rural locality into a modern, rich community. At the end of 1969, he made a very dangerous decision from a political point of view at that time, but it turned out to be a very economically profitable one. He approved the construction of the textile factory next to Huaxi. Over the past few decades, 8 large prosperous enterprises have formed around the village. The current annual investment in this village is an impressive amount of about $4 billion. The villagers utilized all of their old houses and moved together into luxurious cottages. It is considered that moving around on foot here is practically not customary now, because all of the residents are using expensive cars. Even more attention was attracted when residents of the settlement built the skyscraper. On the 60th level, they installed a very solid sculpture of the bull out of pride. Of course, you heard that the Chinese are famous for making copies. What about Tesla, but made in China? How is it possible? The name of the car is Xpeng P7. So where does this similarity with the original Tesla come from? Elon Musk promises the whole world that Tesla will not sue anyone if that someone wants to use Duos technology with good intentions. That happened in 2014. In the same year, the Xpeng company was founded in China. 3 years later, Alibaba invested in it. A huge factory is being built next year. And today, in 2022, new Chinese electric cars are shipped to Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands at a price that is about 10,000 euros cheaper than the same Teslas or their competitors from BMW. How did it happen? Because the company has fantastic support from the Chinese government. In April of this year, the Agricultural Bank of China is giving Xpeng Company a €1 billion loan to make them expand globally. Instead of spending a lot of money on the competition with internal combustion engines, the Chinese are investing everything in it. Is it even possible to compete with the Chinese version of the future? Xpeng looks even further and brings Europe not only electric cars that ride on the roads, but these electric cars that can already fly now. This is Xpeng X2, for example. Even though China can appear to be living in the future with all that technical progress, the harsh and cruel reality of the Uyghurs that live in China shows a medieval social approach. You can discover more information in our next video.